Good morning, all of you. Thank you for joining today's session. So today I'm going to give you a webinar on the Okta Adaptive MFA and the integration with the FortiGate firewall. It's just for the demo purpose. I have choose the FortiGate. You can choose any other firewall who can integrate with the Radius server as well. And if you have any question, just put it on the question and answer chat window. Once the session is over, I will answer all of your questions. So let's start. Before we start, just want to give you the introduction about the Okta. So we have already delivered the full session on the Okta product introduction. You can go on to our YouTube channel and watch that video in which we have covered all the product into the brief. Now today I'm going to give you the detailed introduction and the information about the Okta Adaptive MFA. So before we start, just give you the highlight what is Okta. As you can see, Okta is built in the cloud. It has many different properties that make it unique. First, it was born and built in the cloud from the day the company started, and from the first line of the code that company wrote, uh, we built Okta as a cloud-based service. You can't just take some on-prem piece of identity management software, put it into the cloud and get what Okta's built. You will see what different feature is there. You can't put, for example, Active Directory in the cloud and get Okta's feature. The fundamental aspects of being born and built in the cloud enable the other aspect of the Okta Identity Cloud, that is connect to everything. Technology is changing faster than ever before. We all know that what your user need is different today than what it was yesterday, and the only chance you have to be successful is if you connect everything. Okta also neutral, it's independent and unbiased. For example, we want to connect our customer to the technology they want. We are not trying to connect them to a stake. For example, if you use Microsoft Office 365, they want you to use OneDrive and Dynamic CRM. They don't want you to use the Google Apps, Box and Salesforce. But Okta wants you to use whatever technology is going to make you successful. So we connect everything, and by connecting to everything, we preserve the choice that is fundamental to your customer. That is, the choice is to use anything that you want, and is not just today, the choice is also in future as well. And you can be rest assured that whatever technology is there, Okta will be the one of the first company to provide the integration with that technology. And if you're going to do what Okta does, that is manage the millions of identity of world's leading company, you have to be 100% secure, and we are. You can go to our Okta's website, okta.com/trust. You will find all the compliance that Okta has achieved, and you will show that certificate to the customer when you are presenting this product to the customer. And then lastly, we have to be always on. We are on the front door of every employee's access to the tools that they need to do their work. We are between the customers, companies and their customer. We are in the revenue system as well, and because of this we have to be more reliable than anything we connect to, and we are. So if you see here now, these are the data center that currently Okta has in different country. For Middle East, we can use the nearest one, which is in Europe, and these are the number of customers that is using Okta right now worldwide. We are managing billions of identity or millions of authentication per day. And these two is for Asia Pacific, it's Sydney, and in Singapore it is coming. In Sydney it is already been now open, and soon the other data center will be there. So before we start, this is the uh, product stake that I would like to give you information about. So we have two license-based model. One is workforce identity and second one is the customer identity. So when we talk about the workforce identity, you can say it is to protect their own employee, mostly contractor or partner, but mostly workforce identity is for own employee only. So in that time, there are different initiative. They might have different project. And what are the products that we have? Single sign-on, universal directory, and so on. So we are going to talk about only adaptive MFA today. We already covered all the product in the previous session. And customer identity means when you want to use the Okta as your authentication platform, you already have any custom application and you want to use Okta as a source of truth, so you can use our product, which is for authentication, authorization, and so on. So again, this license will be different when you want to use it for the customer, that is for your own customer. So let's talk about the adaptive MFA, why it is more important than ever before to use the multi-factor authentication, because this is the study we conducted back in 2016, and there is plenty of today's attacker are specifically targeting the credential, leading to breaches and compromised account. You can see that 81% of the data breaches that involve because of stolen weak credential, and 91% of the phishing attack target credential, the majority of which don't use malware to exploit user, and 73% of the password are duplicates. User doesn't necessarily make it any harder for the attacker. Password management is hard, and it's too often, even when we know better, we ended up taking the easy way out. And this is the main reason. And if you see all of the study, that the root cause for this mostly involve the weak credential. That is the main reason why we need a adaptive MFA or the multi-factor of authentication. So modern attack tactics means all apps are critical application. The primary and the easiest way external threat actor are targeting credential are through phishing and social engineering. Instead of using malware or exploit, they are often literally asking user for their credential, and user are falling for it. The other risk is through insider threat, which is when an employee or someone authorized to access certain apps, areas, data in the organization misuses their privilege for malicious reason. And although attackers and malicious insider may not have all the credential, once they have one and gets some access, they use privilege escalation to move laterally throughout the organization and repeating the phishing and social engineering tactics if necessary to get what they are looking for. This means that once the attacker gain access, they can find their way to any or all of your critical application holding important data. This also means that hardening access to only critical application is no longer enough. As a response to this shift, regulation bodies have created a guideline to reduce the risk of sensitive data compromise. Yet users still expect the same ease of access to data whenever it's accessed from, or expect tool to improve, not hinder or productivity. So that means that user want a simplest way to access what they want to access. So not only do organizers have to protect against the credential based compromises to keep their critical app and data safe, they have to do it in a way that supports normal business operation and satisfy regulation condition as well, like PCI, HIPAA, so on. And in order to prevent credential-based threat, enable user and business operation and satisfy compliance check, a true strong authentication solution must be strong, it must be simple and extensible to the entire organization. So what does an ideal MFA solution look like? So let's take a look at what secure authentication really means. First, because your critical application are now everywhere, it's got to protect from across all environment. In legacy deployment, for example, all your critical information was located in one place, on-prem on the company's local network, right? A lot of it is still there today, or in data center that organization directly control. And as a service provider have introduced cloud service, more of your sensitive data was no longer on premise or controlled by you, but trusted to your partners and service provider in the cloud. And user working from remote location using the mobile devices that often aren't company owned also introduce yet another environmental and method of access that must be secure. And finally, organization as they expand, the group of people involved that handle and had access to data also increase. There might be partner contractors or supplier may have access to some part of your critical app or the data, but their relation to the company is more complex than those of traditional full-time companies employee. So what we need is we need a secure way to we need a way to securely authenticate all the user, whether it's internal or external. And some of the factor for the multi-factor authentication that okay, so organization also need to balance the security with the usability. That means comprehensive set of factor with full range of assurance level. So what we need here is the some of the factor like password and security questions are inherent low assurance of the factor, right? Someone can steal your password through social engineering, determine answer to a security question, but since they are cheap and don't require additional equipment, they can be appropriate for low risk situation or assessing data that isn't sensitive. Then towards the middle of the insurance spectrum, factor like SMS, voice and software OTP, it provides an additional level of security by adding the something you have case. Plus the prevalence of user with mobile devices have driven down the cost of using this factor. So in this situation where setup authentication is required beyond password, these are good option, SMS and software OTP. As we move down to the high level assurance and factor become inherently more secure. For example, token and OTP are crypto based and biometric and more uh, fish proof. These are all most give you the most assurance level for the second factor of authentication. Now this factor may be more expensive in terms of a literal cost to deploy a physical equipment as well as more ask to user. So organization must balance use of this factor between security and usability and determining increased risk. And therefore when you want to challenge the user for additional assurance level involves a dynamic and adaptive approach. So these are the different policies that we can configure in Okta for that is called adaptive MFA based on the geolocation, based on the device recognition, and or we can also detect if there is any brute force attack is going on. So because the risks aren't static, your security shouldn't be either. And with Okta, you will get dynamic MFA security. MFA is that easy. So for the better experience for the end user, this is our Okta application, which is Okta Verify, which will come as free of cost with Okta single sign-on as well. So if you purchase a single sign-on, you don't have to go for the a second any additional license. You will get this Okta MFA, and you can see this is a Okta Verify push notification. That means you just have to approve or deny the method for the authentication. You don't have to put the 6-digit code. Again, this is Okta Verify application, which requires very low administration task and reduce the deployment time by a great extent. And when we talk about simplicity and usability, we also don't want to forget IT and admins that is in charge, right? And keeping in that mind, one of initial criteria is that MFA solution must still be conducive to the normal business. That means MFA must be capable of integrating with the apps, services that organization are already using, and be flexible enough to support custom scenario. Maybe they have custom application. This is accomplished without creating additional work for the IT and provide quick time to value in Okta. That is extensible MFA. That means when we talk about the MFA, it should be integrate with the entire organization and security ecosystem. And we do. As the identity, with identity as a modern parameter, MFA and authentication play a vital role in the organization. So let's look at it in the stage. First role for MFA, along with other identity management tool, is to provide secure authentication, which we already discussed in previous slides. Next is to business, enable your business by connecting to all apps that are needed. That means we should be able to integrate with all the apps that you have. And finally, an ideal MFA solution extend to the other area of organization, and with this we should be able to integrate with the all the other solution that customer using. For example, we can integrate with Palo Alto, F5, FortiGate. You can send logs to the SIM solution. You can integrate with the mobile management devices. So it is extensible in a way, and this allows security team to correlate and derive meaningful data between authentication data and other security solutions like a firewall, a threat detection system, etc. This is when you can truly obtain end-to-end visibility into an attack, from who was behind it, how the attack progressed through the network, confirmation by then exploited data, and finally take action through response like denying a user access to certain apps and service. And Okta MFA, it is, as we discussed, it is secure, simple, and extensible. So to recap, the best practice for protecting critical info and all app is implementing a strong authentication solution that secure authentication everywhere, is easy to use for end user and administrator as well, and integrates with the entire ecosystem. So a strong authentication solution that satisfy this condition not only helps secure organization from external threat, but support the broader security initiative and increase the return of investment for all your security investment. So in fact, the new borderless network, MFA and the identity are building block to the modern security strategy. This strategy includes strong authentication with MFA, centralized identity for ease of management and elimination of the password when possible, and reducing the risk through proper user lifecycle management. That is again a different product, which reduce the attack surface area available to the threat actor. And lastly, provide data towards holistic security visibility and enable response in the event of compromise. And if we look the Okta MFA supported scenario for all the cloud application, you can see, for example, different application, network and on-prem integration, and custom application as well. You can do MFA for the custom application which you might have developed for your own by your own developer, and you can find the list on the website by which you can see in which application you can integrate the MFA. And when we talk about the, now let's move to the demo, which is the I will going to show you. So here is the FortiGate. You can consider Palo Alto, Checkpoint, Cisco, any device which you have. When user for the VPN access, user might be using SSL or IPsec VPN through web browser or client. When it asks for the user and password, it will check with the Fortinet. So what we need to do, we need to install the Radius agent on the Windows server, domain server, and it will act as a Radius server. So this is a small agent which you need to install. You can download it from the portal itself where you have the GUI access of the Okta. So it will, FortiGate will check with the Okta Radius agent, then it will communicate with the cloud where you have your portal. And here you need to integrate Okta Directory Agent, Active Directory Agent, which will then check the username and credential with your Active Directory. And if it is successful, then it will ask for the second factor of authentication. And then once you provide it, again, it will check with the Okta for the second factor of authentication. So this is the diagram. It is again available on the website for flow. You can check it. Now I will quickly show you how we can how it actually looks like when we integrate the FortiGate and the Okta. So this is my Okta portal. I have logged in here. This is the dashboard. You can see here the directory. I have already integrated my Active Directory, and you can see this is the domain name which I have integrated, and it is showing me what are the users is there, and I have installed the agent. The agent is active and healthy. That means all the user information is in sync. So this is where we need to integrate the Active Directory. And applications, when we talk about, there is already inbuilt application for the Radius. So here is the Fortinet FortiGate Radius, which we have done integration with. So this is the only information you need to give to integrate UDP port and the secret key. Then our agent will automatically sync with the Okta. And here's the assignment by user and groups that you can assign it to different user and groups. And when we talk about the FortiGate, there is only one thing we need to do here. I will show you the configuration of FortiGate as well. So what I have done here, VPN I have already configured, and in that VPN, before that, here you can see the Radius server. So the Radius server is the domain server where I have installed our Okta agent, and that's it. This is the simplest way we can integrate. You just provide the shared key, keep the authentication method as PAP, and the agent IP address. That's it. You can click the test, connect it, and see whether it's successful. Yes. And in VPN, you can do it with the SSL VPN or the IPsec VPN. So what I will show you here, let me copy paste the username and password. So before I log in, I will just connect my mobile so you guys will be able to see the application in my mobile as well. Let me connect my mobile, just a moment. Yeah, so you can see that it's already connected now. Phone is connected. So this is Okta Verify application. Now I have enabled the push notification. That means you don't have to provide the 6-digit code. So you will be able to see once I click on login, it is asking me whether you want to continue or you want to abort. So I will click one and continue. You can see I got a notification. So when I click this, I just have to select yes, it's me, or no, it's not me. So when I say yes, it's me, it will automatically log in into the SSL portal. Now same thing can be done for the client as well. I will show you again. It's already used and password is already saved. Here is the one. When to continue? Yes, it's me. So it will log me into the client as well. It should be able to connect now. It's connected. And the logs which we have logged in, you can go into the system log and see which user has logged in with the MFA. So we will be able to see that specific user has used the multi-factor authentication and able to log in. Here you can see authentication user via MFA. This is the user we just logged in. Or authentication of user via Radius Agent. So this is the way we can do it. And again, we have the multiple authentication factor that I will show you. For example, we use the Okta Verify, which is its own Okta application only. So these are all the way by which we can use the second factor. Okta Verify, SMS, voice, Google Factor Authenticator, Fido, then UbiQ, Duo Security, Symantec, on-prem MFA if you have any RSS security questions, and email authentication. So just for the sake of this lab, I will again show you the SMS authentication as well. So it's already enabled in my one of the other users. So in this time I will choose a different user now, which is WebTP. Yeah. So this is another user. In that I have enabled the SMS based authentication. So again, here I have option of the Okta push, or second is the SMS. So I will choose the second factor authentication as SMS, or you can abort as well. So when I do that, I should get a key. So I got a, I have one, yeah, here is it. You can see this is the verification code which I got, 500134, SMS based authentication, OTP, and I am able to log in. So this is how it is easy to log in with the second factor of authentication. So this is from my side, guys. If you have any question, just let me know. I'm here to answer. This is my email address. If you have any query for the single sign-on or multi-factor authentication, you have any opportunity, we will be doing. If you have any requirement for the POC, we can do that as well, and you can reach out to me on my email address. Thank you very much, guys. Have a nice day. Bye bye.